connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God. With
AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now.
Like this state trooper here in Florida, give him a bonus.
Can you speak any English? No, don't speak no English. What does that mean?
Yes.
What does it mean?
No.
What does it mean when you go down, you see the sign? What does that mean? What do you have to do?
No.
Okay.
40 años troquero desde Cuba.
Okay.
Truck is out of service, baby, and so is that driver. Way to go. That's going to do it for us. Stinchfield's Army Rolls. Studio 6B up next. See you tomorrow.
Get ready, America. March 25th through 28th, CPAC USA 2026 takes over the Lone Star State. And Real America's Voice brings you wall-to-wall coverage, live shows from the convention floor, exclusive interviews, powerful panels, and live music and entertainment. All from the massive Real America's Voice stage. Hear from Rav's own Steve Bannon.
The only way we don't have victory if we surrender. And we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit.
And Jack Posobiec live.
Freedom is a responsibility that we must uphold every single day of our lives.
Plus Dr. Gina.
We always came together because we know what we're fighting for.
Rob Schneider and Alex Stein bring the laughs with stand-up comedy. And the music lineup features Natasha Owens, Deepak, Celeste Kellogg, and more. CPAC USA 2026, only on Real America's Voice. Presented by Patriot Mobile, Birch Gold Group, Trump Tumblr, and 1776tumblr.com. Your TV sounds funny in the evening. You're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
And it is live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick Rick, sitting right there, going to do some sports. Kevin Downey Jr., host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, looking good. Sitting right there is going to do some news. Slick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your day?
It was good. Busy, but good.
How was your event tonight? No, I'm just kidding. I
had to go to a wake, too. So I went to a wake, and then I went to the restaurant. I couldn't even get a drink. It was terrible. So okay. It's going to be a dry show.
Right. Slick's off to not a great night start here. It's all right. I'll pick it up when we do sports. Kevin Downey Jr., how are you?
I'm great, thanks. I'm hammered.
How was the Kevin Downey Jr. show this morning?
You know, I'm plowed.
What'd you say? I'm hammered?
I'm hammered, yeah. He can't get a drink. I'm pie-eyed, as my grandfather would say. I'm great, thanks. Wonderful show, lots of callers. You know, people keep asking me when are more of the boys from 6B going to be on. So when do you guys want to come on?
Okay, I'll anytime. You let me know.
Tomorrow.
All right, I'll come tomorrow. Slick?
I'm busy tomorrow. I'll get over there. I'll get over it, I promise.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'll
committed.
do tomorrow. I love doing the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, so we'll have to jump on there. So, all right, well, we'll get to news. We'll get to sports. Lots to get to. But tonight, let's get to a longer edition of tonight's First Word. Why is it longer, Damon? Well, it's longer because the Biden-era deep state didn't just dip its toe into tyranny. It dove in headfirst with cement shoes. Senator Chuck Grassley dropped another pile of documents this morning on this so-called Arctic frost investigation, the code name for Jack Smith's weaponized witch hunt against anyone who dared support Donald Trump after 2020. And what do these newly disclosed secret subpoenas reveal? Newly disclosed information shows that none other than Christopher Wray, yes, the same Christopher Wray who was the FBI director at the time, personally signed off on special counsel Jack Smith's spying operation targeting none other than Kash Patel. That's right, Kash Patel, the now director of the FBI himself, but back then, just a loyal American private citizen. They didn't stop at phone records. No. They went after 2 full years of Patel's bank records, credit card statements, billing information, emails, and text, the whole financial and digital footprint. They wanted to peel back every layer of his life like it was some kind of criminal conspiracy just to be a Trump supporter. And who signed off on this? Well, Democrat-appointed judges rubber-stamped these grand jury subpoenas. Then they slapped non-disclosure orders, gag orders on the telecom providers and banks, ordering them to hide what they were doing from their own customer, Kash Patel. No notification, no chance to fight it, just pure secret surveillance on a political opponent. Biden's FBI wiretapped Susie Wiles, we found out. President Trump's longtime senior advisor and now White House chief of staff during a privileged phone call with her attorney. That's right, a confidential attorney-client conversation. They did it without the consent of either party. And to make it horrendously worse, then they tried to hide the evidence of their own illegal spying by marking the file prohibited, as if stamping prohibited on their unconstitutional snooping would make it somehow disappear. Well, thankfully it didn't. And if that weren't enough, the briefing document for Attorney General Merrick Garland, released by Chuck Grassley today, shows that the DOJ was privately communicating with, well, how about Chief Judge Beryl Howell? Yes, that notoriously fanatical anti-Trump judge, about their executive privilege litigation against President Trump. These kind of back-channel communications might not be technically prohibited, but they completely destroy any appearance of judicial impartiality. Howell is quoted in the document by saying, quote, she liked our approach and that she, quote, knows it is coming and loves the idea, end quote. She was fully in on the entire operation. The judge, who was supposed to be a neutral arbiter, was cheering on the Biden DOJ's legal assault like a coach on the sidelines. This wasn't law enforcement. This was the entire rotten system. Wray at the FBI, Smith running the show, Garland at the top, and an activist judge like Howell in on the whole entire game, all working in the shadows to map out, intimidate, and destroy anyone in the way of Biden regime's political revenge tour. Imagine that. The guy now cleaning house at the FBI had the previous regime digging through his bank accounts and credit cards for 2 years while hiding it from him. Trump's future chief of staff had her private lawyer calls wiretap, then covered up with a prohibitive stamp, and the judge handling the cases against Trump was privately telling the DOJ how much she loved the idea. This is the kind of stuff that happens in banana republics, not in the United States of America. And the men who drafted and ratified the Constitution would view the revelations from Chuck Grassley's Arctic Frost document release with profound alarm, bordering on righteous fury. They designed the Republic explicitly to prevent exactly this kind of concentrated partisan abuse of governmental power. The core outrage obviously should be your Fourth Amendment, born directly from colonial fury over British general warrants and writs of assistance. Those allowed unchecked searches of homes, papers, and effects without specific probable cause or particular description of what was being seized. James Otis famously called them, quote, instruments of slavery that let officers ransack at will, often targeting political opponents or critics of the crown. What we see today, broad grand jury subpoenas for Patel's 2 years of bank records, credit cards, billing, emails, texts, IP data, device IDs, hidden prohibited files on phone toll records, wiretapping Susie Wiles during a privileged attorney call without consent of either party would strike them as modern general warrants on steroids. The founders insisted that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects must be protected against unreasonable searches. Well, today they'd see secret gag order dragnet subpoenas targeting hundreds of political opponents, over 400 Republicans linked people and entities, by the way, as the very definition of unreasonable. Hiding the surveillance behind prohibited stamps or non-disclosure orders would confirm their worst fears, government acting in darkness to map and intimidate their political enemies. They would be equally horrified by the apparent coordination and lack of impartiality. James Madison in Federalist 47 warned that the accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny. Well, here we have the executive branch, FBI under Wray, DOJ under Garland, special counsel Smith, privately communicating with a judge like Beryl Howell, who reportedly said she loves their approach and loves the idea of litigation against Trump. The founders expected judges to act as independent checks, not cheerleaders embedded in one side of the strategy. They had lived under a system where royal judges were tools of the executive, a chief judge appearing fully in on the operation while handling executive privilege fights would look to them like judicial capture. The precise corruption separation of powers was meant to prevent. Wiretapping a privileged call between a future White House chief of staff and her lawyer, then trying to bury the evidence, that would evoke memories of the British abuses that chilled free association and counsel. The founders saw the right to counsel and confidential communication as essential to your liberty. Violating it to target political figures would be seen as tyrannical, and that's what it is. More broadly, using the machinery of the state, FBI, DOJ, grand juries, compliant judges, to conduct a sweeping investigation into one political party's post-election activities while sweeping up members of Congress, donors, businesses, and allies, that screams enemies list. The founders had just fought a revolution against a government that treated political dissidents as sedition. They built checks and balances, frequent elections, and a Bill of Rights precisely so that the temporary holders of power could not turn their permanent institutions of government into weapons against their rivals. Alexander Hamilton and Madison argued in the Federalist Papers that ambition must counteract ambition. They assumed human nature includes the temptation to abuse power, which is why no single branch or faction should dominate. An operation that treats the opposing political ecosystem as multifaceted conspiracy, worthy of mass metadata collection, financial spying, and secret judicial coordination, would look to them like the very fractional tyranny they feared in Federalist 10. Majority, in this case, administrative state faction using government to oppress the minority. They would likely say, this is why we rejected a monarchy and gave you a republic if you can keep it. They would expect Congress to investigate aggressively, as Grassley is doing. The people to demand accountability through elections and future reforms to restore notice requirements, narrow the tailoring of subpoenas, and real judicial independence. In short, the founders would not be surprised that flawed humans in power might attempt such things. They would be disappointed that the safeguards they built, the Fourth Amendment particularly, separation of powers, Republican accountability, had been so thoroughly eroded or ignored in practice. To them, this wasn't normal law enforcement in complex cases. It was the spirit of arbitrary power they rebelled against, dressed up as 21st century paperwork. They would urge Americans to remember a government powerful enough to secretly map its opponents' financial and communication lives is powerful enough to do it to anyone. The remedy, as always in their view, lies in the vigilance, the sunlight, and the reclaiming of the constitutional boundaries they fought to establish. And that's tonight's first word. All right, live from Studio 6B. And I don't know if either one of you want to comment on it or you saw what Chuck Grassley released today. Kev, I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but pretty stunning stuff.
You know what, D? It's actually infuriating what these animals got away with. And I'm not saying they got away with it yet. I hope they don't. I truly believe Trump is going to lower some booms just prior to the midterms. Terrible. And something's got to happen. This should not be happening in this nation. You can smell the tyranny. I hope everyone who just heard what you said understands just how dire this is.
All right, we'll get a lot more into this tonight. A lot of Arctic frost tonight. I want to cover some of the testimony we saw in front of Congress, in front of the Senate, judicial hearing today. We'll get sports news live from Studio 6B, 13 past the hour, right after this. Emily Gregory, a Democrat, defeats John Maples, Republican in Florida.
Ooh.
District 87 special election.
Florida?
This Palm Beach district includes Trump's Mar-a-Lago.
Wow.
Went Trump plus 11 in 2024, and this Democrat just beat the Republican.
That's not good.
Oh, boy.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I don't even know this race. I'm just seeing this pop up now.
Now they'll probably be fining anybody who parks on the road the wrong way. They'll be breaking his shoes for every little thing.
What's going on in the chat? How's everybody doing on a Tuesday night?
Yeah, I'm in the YouTubes.
I'm checking Facebook.
Everybody on the 6B app, what's going on? Cat, former rancher Dane. Texas Lady 83, John Lavoie. What's going on, everybody? RD Bull, Cats B on X.
I'm in the YouTube, Big D. I got Bill Moore, our good friend Bill from Maryland. We got Patty Jamcat, Margaret Ferguson. Les Durham checking in. Bowser Roadkill. We got a good old Bowser in there. Turnpike Man, Marianne Mack, Segway, Nina Trewick, Randy Smith from downtown. We got Broke Spoke, of course. We love Broke Spokes. You give a shout out to Aaron and Fran. Broke is in the house. Nurse Kimmy. That's a new one for me. Brian Belford, of course. He says, hurry up, Big D. I guess he didn't like your story was going on a little too long for him. I don't know. I thought it was a great story.
I'm getting rave reviews at Facebook. Can you post that? Thank you, Damon, for today's first words.
Steve Smith.
From Nancy. Oh, no. From Patriot Tonita.
Hello, everybody. Tonita, hello. I thought Palm Beach City was Democrat. RD Bull says, I guess not. Up until today.
Maybe for fundraising. Talked about that last week. They do a lot of fundraising down here.
Where are you watching Tiger? Tiger's playing in his TGL league tonight for the first time.
Yeah, there's some talk about.
It's on. I don't know if it's on ESPN or where it is, but
I heard something probably about 3 hours ago that he is contemplating coming back for maybe the Masters.
I don't think he's contemplating. I think it's.
You think it's a done deal?
It's a done deal.
Worst kept secret in sports.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Slicks here is going to do some sports. Kevin Downey Jr. is here, sitting in. Rick Delgado's still on vacation for the rest of this week. He'll be back Monday. Will he be back Friday?
Friday night he's coming back.
All right, Delgado will be back Friday night at the America First Warehouse, where we will be back with hopefully everybody there. KDJ, are you there Friday with us at the warehouse?
Absolutely.
All right, so we got full, I don't know if Vin will be back, because he'll still be
bring some bourbon, will you? We need
running
some
around
bourbon.
CPAC,
right.
Probably.
Can do.
But we will be at the America First Warehouse on Friday. And we've already got a crowd built up for Friday, 40, 50 people. Okay, DJ, someone's coming. Who's coming?
I don't know. It's supposed to be Greg Hack running for Congress. I'm not sure. He might be moving it to April 10th now.
Oh, okay, so maybe he's not coming. All right, well, either way, we'll be there.
We'll
Friday
be there.
at the America First Warehouse. Hope to see you there sometime soon. KDJ will do some news here coming up. I saw that you had a piece over at PJ Media today that I came across.
Yes, I did.
What is it entitled? How many what? They're not telling us? Something like that?
Saw that. I'm doing some research. I'm trying to find out how many Americans have been killed by illegal aliens just in 2026. And it's called Illegals Killed How Many People thus far in 2026? They won't tell us.
Yeah.
They're bending over backwards to not tell us. Most police departments aren't even supposed to keep this information. But Scott Pinster, I work with him. He did something great. He found the crime stats from Tennessee for 2025. They counted how many illegal immigrants were arrested and convicted, and he just took those numbers from Tennessee, extrapolated them out to, okay, well, if we got 100,000 people here in Tennessee and illegal immigrants, and then we've got this many here, he goes, look, if we've got 14 million. It turns out, according to him, illegal immigrants are killing around 3,000 people every year, more than were murdered by the religion of peace is on 9/11. All right. And this is just based on the one state and extrapolated out from that. No one's keeping track. When Joe Biden was president, the big blue toilet towns didn't have to report their crimes. All right. So they're obviously trying to protect people. And
they changed the numbers anyways, most of these blue cities. And like even in D.C., they were messing around with the crime stats.
Absolutely.
Didn't we report on that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
You can't even trust those. Also,
it's like COVID. They mess around with those stats.
If you look at these arrest reports, Hispanic people and Middle Eastern people are counted as white. So we're never even going to know the true the race of people. And if you can put someone down as white, well, it's just easy to say, well, he's not Hispanic. Let's not even look into his immigration status. So sometimes we get the information, sometimes we don't. But they're making it really hard to find out who's doing what. And that's what mine's about. You can read that on PJ Media right now. Remember, the more of my articles you read, the more Spot Trail bourbon I buy, and then I share with Slick.
There you go. Okay, very good. Speaking of Slick, let's do some sports at 20 minutes past the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, LFS6B. Is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow or MyStore.com. Use code LFS6B as your promo code at checkout. It'll give you a great savings. Slickster, what's going on?
Oh, busy night in the NHL tonight. 30 of the 32 teams are in action, and we're getting down inside the home stretch here for the playoffs, Big D.
Let me guess. There's 15 games tonight.
There's 15 games tonight. Yeah, not 16, 15. And we're in the home stretch, Big D. Most of the teams have 10 games or less to the season, so, yeah, playoffs are on the Hilton. The Islanders are in the mix as well tonight. Maple Leafs and Bruins tied at 1 in the second. Also, midway through the second, Hurricanes and Canadiens tied at 2. Both big games. Senators lead. The Red Wings 1-0, 11:25 to go in the second. Sorry about that, Kevin. Panthers 1-0 over the Kraken, 7:58 there. Also in the second period, the Blackhawks are absolutely annihilating the Islanders, 4-1 in Queens. The Blue Jackets 2-1 over the Flyers. And also second period, the Avalanche 4-1 over the Penguins. Lightning trailed the Wild 1-0 there with a minute to go in the first. Also in the first, no score. Caps and Blues. Sharks and Predators there. Predators are up 1-0 in the first period. Also in the first, Devils 1-0 over the Stars. And midway through the first period, no score, Golden Knights and Jets. Kings, Flames, Oilers, Mammoth, Ducks and Canucks coming up. Ducks and Canucks, I like that one. Coming up at 9 and 10 o'clock, respectively. Well, PGA, Big D, news is heating up now. Scottie Scheffler withdraws from Houston Open. Likely won't play until the 2026 Masters. This is Robbie Calland of CBS Sports. Scottie Scheffler withdrew from the Texas Children's Houston Open on Tuesday. The world number one was planning on playing this week in his home state of Texas as his first final tune-up for the Masters, but was a late scratch from the field. Scheffler's withdrawal was announced as family reasons by the PGA Tour. Golf Channel reports it is because of the expected birth of his second child with his wife Meredith. Well, that's a great reason to leave, absolutely. And Scheffler typically plays in one of the 2 Texas events prior to making the trip out to Augusta National Golf Club. But this year it appears he will enter the Masters after a 3-week break following the Players. Given Scheffler's history at the Masters, winning in 2022 and 24 and finishing in the top 10 in 23 and 25, he'll be the heavy favorite at Augusta National despite the long layoff. And now rumors, Big D, are becoming that Tiger Woods may be lacing up for the did you hear that for the Masters? Tiger Woods may be getting ready to go for the jacket.
It would not surprise me at all.
That would be that would really be something to see. That I'd love to see him in there. And, well, we got to give the women a little shine, too. We've been talking about the men in the Final Four and the March Madness. Well, what about the ladies? Virginia women's team makes NCAA history. This is Larry Brown Sport reporting. The men's NCAA tournament has a few surprises in the Sweet 16 with number 9 seed Iowa and number 11 seed Texas. On Monday, the women's Sweet 16 saw a giant upset with number 10 seed Virginia knocking off number 2 seed Iowa, 83-75 in double OT at Carver's Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa. Virginia now becomes the first ever women's first 4 team to make the Sweet 16. That's amazing. First ever. They were in the play-in. Virginia won its first 4 game with a 57-55 win over number 10 seed in Arizona State. Then Virginia knocked off number 7 seed Georgia at 82-73 in the round of 64 game on Saturday in Iowa City. So looking good for the women from Virginia. We wanted to give them a shout out. And coming up later, Kevin, I got that Penn State wrestling team. Boy, they deserve a shout out. I know your friends were clamoring for me to make sure I got that out. Well, I have that story coming up, Big D, about the Penn State wrestling team. Boy, they're a historical club too. And that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
The UConn's women basketball team yesterday at one point in the first half led Syracuse 64-12.
I don't know if anybody's beaten that, Big D. I don't know about that.
Oh my God!
Wow,
I mean 64-12. So did Syracuse come out of the locker room, or
that's almost as bad as the men's team? They were mopping up on somebody too. They were up big right early on.
All right, 24 past the hour. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. KDJ has some news here. What's going on, KDJ?
Well, thank you, Big D. Thank you for asking. It turns out, finally, we're seeing some people getting in trouble for messing with our friends in ICE and the Border Patrol as well. That's also important. Keep in mind that those people don't realize that these are two different outfits. And this comes from PJ Media. My friend Athena says, headline, find out phase underway as sociopathic anti-ICE harpies reap convictions. All right. Now, these aren't the animals taking pot shots at ICE in Texas. These are the crusty old hippie ladies who stand there and yell, kill me, because they're trying to make a difference before they die, because they're old hippies.
Crazy town ladies.
Yep. It's hilarious. But this one woman pulled over. She saw Border Patrol apprehending someone, drove her car at them and missed, but was arrested. Convicted. She'll be sentenced in a couple weeks. She's looking at a possible 20 years. All right. Possible. So there you go. Look at that. She has her mask. It's always white chicks. It's liberal white chicks who are doing everything they can to tear this nation down.
They always do look the part.
They always
do. They have that look.
You know what I'm seeing? I've seen, so Mikey Sherrill, the new governor of New Jersey, she just went to some meeting wearing a hijab. All right. So we're really seeing them go crazy. They're wearing a hijab. Keep in mind, folks, that in the Middle East, they'll kill women. They'll kill women for whatever they want. They're allowed to beat women. They'll kill women. But this is just a few of them going away now. They're looking at real time. These are Karens. These are the awfuls, the affluent white liberal women.
Or at least her LinkedIn profile page didn't give it away, unlike where she stands or anything like that. Look at this.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
The whole Rainbow Coalition.
All right, 26 past the hour, live through Studio 6B. More news coming up.
Has anybody heard from Harry on the highway down in Texas?
I was just talking to Harry on the highway for quite a while.
He had a good trip down there?
No, it was a terrible trip down there because of LaGuardia.
Oh, my God.
They started blowing up his phone at like 2, 3 in the morning, Monday morning. Like I canceled. Obviously, LaGuardia was closed.
He flew out of LaGuardia.
Then he had to move it over to Islip, and he got a flight to Islip, but he had to connect out of Baltimore. So he was supposed to, I don't know what time he was supposed to leave, but he finally got into Dallas, Texas at
10 minutes
midnight.
Ago. Oh, wow. Spent the whole day.
He got up at 2 a.m. in the morning.
That's brutal. I was afraid PJ was going to send us out again.
That must have been some airport bar, Bill.
22 hours.
I would have been.
That's insane.
To get from New York to Dallas, Texas.
That's
with canceled flights, finding new flights, layovers, and
that was
delays.
A terrible situation, what happened at LaGuardia. Just terrible. That should have been avoided.
But he's there. And the booth's going up. Real America's Voice booth at CPAC.
Nice.
CPAP.
CPAP. Put you to sleep. No, they won't put them to sleep. They're going to be fired up.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be fired up. They got a great group, right?
I said to Harry, I said, so is Vin there already? Because he's not doing the show tonight. He's like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's not coming tonight. He's coming tomorrow. And I said, well,
oh, he's got to decompress. He's got to decompress before the big week.
I just can't.
Now, we're going to talk to any of them during the week or no?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm sure we will.
Surprised we haven't been able to pull Delgado up from overseas.
Thank God.
Oh, man. We think he's on Mars. Well, what else
is there a way to email us? David on Facebook says, LFS6B at yahoo.com. It's on the screen, the entire show. LFS6B at yahoo.com would be the way to email us.
You know where Delgado is?
Yep.
Is that confidential information?
Freeport, Long Island.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice, March 24th. Slick doing sports. Kevin Downey Jr., host of the Kevin Downey Jr. radio show. You can hear weekdays 9 to 11 a.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio, where you can hear us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night, 8 to 10. And I think you can listen to them pretty much all over the world. And on the app, you can ask your Alexa to just play LI News Radio.
Yep.
So you can hear him everywhere. The Kevin Downey Jr. Show. He'll have some more news here coming up in a second. I want to get to, I want to stick with the Arctic frost here stuff for a second. But before we get to the video of Margot Cleveland and her opening statement to the hearing today, which she's always great at the Federalist. She writes great stuff, and she testified today. As did many others. Will Chamberlain from the Mike Davis's place over there. He was good. I saw some videos of him, but I want to play Margot Cleveland's here in a second. But first, Senator John Kennedy interviews for a mechanic job with Baby Trump. That's the basis of tonight's Baby News Network. Roll it, Aaron. Yeah, Trump Motors. Make mechanics.
John, come in. Come in. I started this place because America's cars are broken, John. Broken. And nobody was doing anything about it. So I said, you know what? I'll fix them myself. And I'm very confident this shop will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before within 6 months. Probably 3, actually.
Well, Mr. President, I appreciate the opportunity. I've always believed an honest man should know how to work with his hands, even if those hands have mostly been signing legislation and holding crawfish.
Beautiful. Very blue collar. I love it. Now, John, I'm going to ask you some questions, technical questions, mechanic stuff, okay? Because I need to know you can handle the job. I'm not just handing this out. This is Trump Motors. We have standards, tremendous standards. All right, first question. You're driving a car and it keeps pulling to the left. Steering wheel is straight, but the whole vehicle keeps drifting left. What's the issue, Senator?
Well, sir, that right there is the Democrat. Car's been exposed to liberal ideology, and now it refuses to go right. Probably been parked near a college campus too long. Only fix is a full conservative realignment and maybe a Trump bumper sticker to straighten her out.
That's actually not wrong, John. I've seen it happen. Very common in blue states. Cars just drift left. It's very sad. Okay, next question. The gas tank seems to always be low. You fill it up. You drive 10 minutes, and it's almost empty again. What the heck's going on?
Oh, that's easy. A Democrat's in office, sir. I mean, the gas just knows. The gas can feel it. It evaporates out of fear. You ever noticed how cheap and plentiful gas was when you were in office? That's because gasoline respects strong leadership. Under Biden, the gas was too expensive to get into your tank, And when it's there, it couldn't wait to get out.
Incredible answer. Very scientific. I've heard the same thing from many, many people, very smart people, actually. So the gas respects me. I've always known that, quite frankly. Okay, John, this one's important. A car comes in making a terrible noise. It's loud, repetitive, high-pitched, almost like a cackling sound. And every time the engine turns over, it just goes off.
Mr. President, I don't want to alarm you, but that vehicle has a Kamala in the transmission. Very serious condition. Once that laugh gets into the engine block, it spreads to the exhaust, the speakers, the horn, everything starts cackling.
A Kamala in the transmission? Somebody write that down. That's a real condition. I'm very confident mechanics all over the country are dealing with this. Next, the car won't start in the morning. You turn the key, nothing happens. Engine doesn't even try. It just sits there.
It's gotta be
What's
Biden.
wrong with this one?
The car's asleep, sir. That's a classic case of sleepy engine syndrome, named after you-know-who. The vehicle has lost all motivation, can't remember where it's supposed to go, and if you leave it alone long enough, it'll start mumbling about Scranton. Best thing you can do is replace the battery with something that has actual energy. A Red Bull, a 5-hour energy, a Trump rally speech on the stereo, anything with a pulse.
The Trump rally cure? That should be a real thing. They should sell that at AutoZone. I'll make some calls and maybe a few deals. John, I'm going to be honest with you. You don't know a single thing about cars. Not one thing. Every answer was wrong from a mechanical standpoint. But from an American standpoint, from a patriotic, common sense, make mechanics great again standpoint, you're the most qualified person I've ever interviewed. And I've interviewed many people. You're hired. Welcome to Trump Motors.
Mr. President, I won't let you down. And if I do, I'll blame the Democrats, just like the cars.
That's the spirit, John. That is the spirit. You're going to be incredible, John. And I'm very confident about that. Now let's go make mechanics great again.
All right, there you go. John Kennedy, who's Baby Trump. Very good.
As always.
Always good. Our friends from the Baby News Network, go give them a follow on YouTube, all socials. They are fantastic.
Kamala in the transmission. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Let's get back to Arctic frost, what we saw today. There was many things to pull from this hearing, but I thought I'd pull the opening comments of Margot Cleveland on Jack Smith, because she's written about this extensively at The Federalist throughout this time. She's one of the more level-headed people throughout all of this. And she gave some opening statements in the ways that Jack Smith flipped up the Constitution. So here's her opening remarks, then we'll talk about her article today. Roll that, Aaron.
Chairman Cruz, Ranking Member Whitehouse, and members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to testify concerning the grave constitutional violations inflicted as part of Arctic frost. After the 2020 election, an anti-Trump FBI agent named Tim Tybalt attempted to use the Justice Department to destroy the president. Tybalt's efforts led to the launch of Arctic frost. Soon after, Merrick Garland tapped Jack Smith, a hyper-aggressive prosecutor known to overstretch the meaning and intent of the law, to serve as special counsel. Smith proved himself true to form, indicting Trump for allegedly violating a statute enacted in the aftermath of Enron, based in part on a theory of criminal liability the Supreme Court would later hold invalid. The Supreme Court would later also halt Smith's efforts to prosecute Trump for actions that fell within the president's official duties. Beyond being a partisan in his own right, Smith stacked his team with partisan Democrats, such as J.P. Cooney and Ray Holser. Cooney and Holser served as Smith's top deputies, and in them we see the clear double standard and political bias that permeated the DOJ and FBI. Before joining Smith's team, Cooney crafted an outrageous sentencing memorandum that sought to send Trump advisor Roger Stone to prison for 7 to 9 years. Cooney's sentencing recommendations were so unhinged that the then Attorney General William Barr intervened. Cooney responded by spreading unfounded rumors that Barr and the acting U.S. Attorney were being improperly political, with media leaks furthering that narrative, eventually leading to an Inspector General investigation. The IG cleared the Trump administration, but chastised Cooney. Holzer, for his part, demonstrated his partisan proclivities when he headed up the public integrity section and refused the FBI's request to open an investigation into the Clinton Foundation. But Holzer's partisan protection racket went further when he withheld a 6-page timeline of the Clinton Foundation investigation from the then U.S. Attorney operating out of Little Rocket. Instead, he provided an abbreviated 2-page summary that omitted all references to interference from the DOJ and the FBI leadership. In contrast, when the target was Trump, Holzer, along with Cooney, drafted a memorandum to justify subpoenaing the toll records of about a dozen members of Congress, notwithstanding internal email discussions acknowledging a clear speech or debate clause problem. They then hid the details of those subpoenas using the prohibited access functionality of Sentinel, which ghosted the FBI records. As this committee well knows, because many of you were victims, Smith approved the subpoenas and obtained the toll records of Senators Blackburn, Graham, Hagerty, Hawley, Loomis, Johnson, Kennedy, Scott, Sullivan, and Tuberville. Only Senator Cruz escaped the invasion into his privacy and the violation of the speech or debate clause because his cell phone provider questioned the subpoena. From this subcommittee's January 7th hearing, you also know that Smith's team sought a nondisclosure order from Chief Judge James Boasberg, apparently without informing him that the targets were members of Congress. I say apparently because Chairman Cruz's request for the nondisclosure application to be unsealed has been ignored. Yet again, we see the double standard and the weaponization. Judge Boasberg has still failed to order Smith and his prosecutors to show cause for why they should not be held in contempt for concealing the members of Congress were the ones who were being targeted. This fact should not be ignored if you are to believe Smith and the administrative office of the court's testimony that Judge Boasberg did not know that your identities were involved. It makes absolutely no sense that Boasberg would not enter a show cause order to hold Smith accountable for violating your rights, given Judge Boasberg's nearly year-long crusade to hold a member of the Trump administration in contempt. We now know that Smith violated the speech or debate clause, rubber-stamped by Judge Boasberg. He went further and he subpoenaed the toll records of Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker, and Chairman Jim Jordan, again under cover of a non-disclosure order. Add to that the hundreds more served on individual Republicans, including Trump's attorneys, Republican organizations such as Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. And they didn't seek merely toll records, but also bank records, which revealed the donor base. The breadth of these constitutional intrusions is unprecedented. But to recap, Smith unconstitutionally was appointed special counsel in violation of the Appointments Clause. The subpoenas of the toll records violated the speech or debate clause. The vast and unjustified subpoenas to Republicans and the organizations that were connected to them violated the First Amendment associational rights. The targeting of Trump's attorneys implicates the Sixth Amendment right to counsel. And using prohibited access to bury records is a huge due process violation that raises potential violations of Brady. Smith and his team must be held accountable. Thank you.
Yeah. And the last line is the most important one. And where are the Republicans on these judges? How has he not been impeached, this Boasberg clown?
Wow.
I mean, it's really crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We'll talk more about this when we get back. Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. More to do. We're back right after this.
even know what phone service Cruz has? I think I'd like to switch. He's the only one.
I wonder. Yeah, I thought about that. I wonder if it's Patriot Mobile or who he has.
That's what I wonder.
Surprise me.
That's what I have. One phone company. What's this for? Nothing. Never mind.
Yeah, exactly. One. Pretty amazing.
Everyone else played along.
I'll tell you, these flips from R to D in these special elections, I don't like.
Yeah, it's
and
a bad
there's too
sign.
many of them. There's
Too many
like
lately,
12 so far. I
Could
think
be
this cycle.
a bad harbinger. It really could be. Gotta
And
hope
some of
not.
them are like I said, Trump plus 11, Trump plus 12 districts.
What does Harry Etten say?
Yeah. Palm Beach Newswire. Democrats flip Florida House district in special election, a deep red seat that includes Trump's Mar-a-Lago.
Jeez. How does that happen? We've seen a few of these, though, where Trump wins, and then another Republican comes in and gets slaughtered. I don't get it. Unless the people who are running are just horrific.
Yeah, I don't know. What's going on in the chat?
The chat? What's happening in the chat? I'm in the YouTubes.
I believe it's because most Republicans won't get out and vote in special elections or primaries, Catherine says on the 6B app. All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, a night that we've seen two special elections in pretty red districts flip from R to D. One of them being in Florida, in the district where Mar-a-Lago is situated. It's a Trump plus 11 district, just flipped in a special election. The other one was a Trump plus 7 state Senate seat, and then the Trump plus 11 state House seat. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. And then people say, well, Republicans aren't getting out. Well, yeah, I mean, those excuses will take you so far, but that's 12 in this election cycle. 12 flips.
Wow.
So the Republicans need to start paying attention.
It's a lot of flipping
Of what's going on. So anyways, just to put a couple bows on this. So here's one of the things that Grassley released today as well. And this was the Jack Smith wish list of who they wanted to target in the GOP. This is from January 10th of 2023. And this is an email that went out. Ones I think we should get in the first round are in bold. Let's talk when you have a minute. A little later than expected, but here's the list. Brian Babin, and then in parentheses next to each person, it's why they want to target them. Text with Mark Meadows, calls with Chip Roy, Perry, Radcliffe, and Meadows. Andy Biggs. Lots of texts with Meadows. So at this point, the way I read this, it's almost like they almost already had the the text messages, because how would they know? A lot of texts with Meadows, it says. Calls with Meadows, Perry, and Chip Roy. Mo Brooks, texts with Meadows, calls with Meadows, Perry, and Chip Roy. Matt Gaetz, calls in relevant period with Meadows, Perry. J. Keith Rose, apparently connected to Waldron Asog. Jody Heiss, texts with Meadows, calls with Roy. Well, Meadows was Trump's what? Meadows was close to Trump, so obviously everybody talked to Mark Meadows at some point. Calls with Roy, Perry, Meadows, Giuliani. Paul Gosar, calls with Perry, Meadows, and Alex Bruzewitz. Louis Gohmert, plaintiff in Gohmert v. Pence, texts with Meadows, calls with Meadows, Perry, Chip Roy. Connie Hare, staffer to Louis Gohmert. Communications with Klukowski, Perry, Cleta Mitchell, Chip Roy, also knowledge of Gohmert v. Pence lawsuit. Mike Lee, contacted by Giuliani on 1-6. Lots of texts with Meadows, calls with Eastman, Meadows, Chip Roy, Cleta Mitchell. Lee Zeldin, 2 texts with Meadows. 2 texts, that's pretty specific. 2 texts with Meadows, calls with Meadows and Perry. Dan Sullivan, called by Giuliani on 1-6. Marsha Blackburn, called by Giuliani on 1-6. Bill Haggerty, called by Giuliani on 1-6. Lindsey Graham, called by Giuliani on 1-2. And Ted Cruz, called by Giuliani on 1-6, also calls in relevant time frame with Meadows, John Eastman, John Ratcliffe, and Chip Roy. So this is what was going on behind the scenes. Obviously, at this point, they already had the text and phone records because this is pretty specific to what they've already seen, the number of calls, the text, who they're between, who they're with. So just stunning stuff. Jack Smith, again, it's just one of those things where when you looked at this guy and you looked at what they were doing, we all knew that this guy was a rogue actor. Not some independent, partial, special counsel to come in and try. We knew what he was. He was a hitman. He was a hitman. He was a mob hipster, and his target was Donald Trump, and by any means necessary. We all knew that, and here we are, years later, just confirmed what we all knew, looking at it at the time, like everything else.
Didn't they call that clown home from The Hague? Wasn't he working there?
Yes, he was.
I think he has a history of going after people. I think he had 5 cases, all of which were turned over eventually by the Supreme Court or an appellate court, where he said, hey, look what I found. And every time it was turned over. Also, he was illegally or maybe unconstitutionally appointed to this. And Judge Cannon in Florida pointed that out. She said, you're not supposed to be here. Imagine some guy working at the office. We never hired you. And he was there anyway. And when she busted him, called him out on that, he still didn't go away. He goes, all right, back to work. He just ignored her. I don't see how we can continue as a republic if some of these people, aren't sent to jail or at least brought up on charges. Something has to happen. People have to learn that they can't do this, or it's just going to get worse when the Democrats take over. They're already planning. I've seen 3 or 4 articles of the revenge. Here's what we're going to do to Trump. Trump's people are going to go after all of them.
Oh, they're talking about it. Pritzker's talking about it out in the open.
Yep.
Wait.
It's no secret.
I think it was bad then. Just imagine what happens next. Some other news tonight out of the House Intelligence Committee, by the way. They voted out transcripts from 2019 hearings with the former Intelligence Community Inspector General Michael Atkinson. Those 2019 hearings were held to examine his role in an alleged whistleblower complaint, which ultimately led to the Democrats' first impeachment effort against Trump back in December 19. Remember, that was all over Ukraine. So we're finally going to get to see the Michael Atkinson's transcript. Remember, he was the phony inspector general who turned his own office rules upside down and then covered it up to get the Ukraine impeachment hoax rolling. It'll be interesting to see what he said under oath about his role in all of that. So we're going to get to see those, too, in the coming days or weeks. So, all right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D. NBA right now, conversely, you see what I did there to the NHL, only has 4 games playing right now. And we got the Hornets clobbering the Kings 118-76, 9 to go there in the fourth. With 12 to go in the third, the Knicks over the Pelicans 66-60. Knicks are looking good. And we got the Cavaliers 52-47 over the Magic, 6 to go there in the second. Suns and Nuggets coming up in Phoenix at a 11 p.m. tip-off. Pro Bull Riders, Big D. We got to get to the poll. We got to get the PBR going. We always do the PRCA. Let's talk about the Bulls. Indianapolis, Indiana. Unleash the Beast wrapped up on Sunday. Number one, Brady Fiedler with an aggregate score of 268 3/4. Coming in second, Hudson Bolton with 179. And number three was Leandro Zampolo. You want to talk about the Bulls, Kevin? Let's talk about the Bulls. Cherry Shot. I think we have one of those bourbons in the back that's a Cherry Shot. 45 9/10 was the top Bull. Ransom comes in at 45.60, and Biden's campaign manager, Doze You Down, came in at 45.6, Big D. So good stuff over there. And Kevin, you know, your followers over there in Pennsylvania, boy, they're on the money. They're bright people. Penn State wins 5th consecutive wrestling national championship with 4 wrestlers earning individual titles. I know they were asking for me to put this on the show, and here it is. They deserve their comeuppance here. Coach Cale Sanderson won his 13th national championship in Happy Valley, 2 away from the NCAA record. Ian Castleberry of Yahoo Sports reporting the Penn State wrestling program won its 5th consecutive national championship Saturday, and the championships in Cleveland. 4 individual Nittany Lions wrestlers won national titles, resulting in an NCAA record of 181.5 points that earned a team national championship. That mark surpassed the previous high total point set last year by Penn State with 177. These guys just keep winning. They're amazingly. Additionally, Penn State had 2 other wrestlers place second, with Shane Van Ness, 49, falling to Stanford's and Aiden Valencia, and Rocco Walsh, 184, was run up to Minnesota's Max McKinley. For Penn State coach Cale Sanderson, the national championship was the 13th of his acclaimed career, only 3 times during his 17-year tenure in Happy Valley. Sanderson is second to the great Iowa coach, the legend himself, Dan Gable, one of the greatest, well, the greatest to do it, I would say, in wrestling. But he's on the route. Penn State looking good. Nittany Lions, big.
All right, it's a wrap hour 1. Kevin Downey Jr.'s got some news. When we get back, hour 2. Coming live from Studio 6B right after this.
Unleash the Beast. PBR, Big D. Pro Bull Riders. Got to work them in, too. Those Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get to the chat and say hello to my friends in the YouTube. Tina Morgan, what's going on, girl? We got Luca Brazzi asking, who here is from Florida? Well, Luca's going to come down here and pay some people a visit, I think. He doesn't like the way they're voting down there. Gary S., what's up, Gary? Broke Spoke, of course, we shouted him out a little bit earlier. Charles Livingston checking in. Karen CB. Ann Pavlock. What else we got in here? Mother Stink Eye. One of Delgado's friends. Lorraine Donato, how you doing? How you doing? Juicy IP. Hello, LFS6B tonight. Good stuff. Anybody in your chat, Big D?
All kinds of people. Broke Spoke, Racing Banshee, Life Owes You Nothing, Earn It, Stand at Ease, College Grad Failure, Dave Syverson, RD Bull. Lots of people over in the...
Boy, Broke Spoke is a 2-timer, huh? He's in the YouTube and in the LFS6B. He gets around.
Did you say there was a bull called Biden's campaign manager?
No.
Okay.
No. No, it was acute. It was like doze. Let me pull that back up. I know.
I was like, what?
Doze you down was the name of that bull, and that's exactly what Biden's campaign manager does. He dozes you down. Instead of hose, it's doze. I love these bull names. Some of them are just priceless. Priceless.
Damon, who do you like between Nebraska and Iowa Thursday?
Iowa
I don't
running
even
away.
know. I haven't looked.
The great state of Iowa. I was just talking to somebody who said that they have Iowa winning it all. You believe that one?
No.
Yeah. The whole way.
Okay.
So I'd say Iowa.
That's crazy. They'll get smoked by Michigan, Duke, or
this guy owns a
or
funeral.
Arkansas. By
This
the way.
guy owns a funeral home, so he could be playing.
Get ready, America. March 25th through 28th, CPAC USA 2026 takes over the Lone Star State. And Real America's Voice brings you wall-to-wall coverage, live shows from the convention floor, exclusive interviews, powerful panels, and live music and entertainment. All from the massive Real America's Voice stage. Hear from Rav's own Steve Bannon.
The only way we don't have victory if we surrender. And we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit.
And Jack the Sobic live.
Freedom is a responsibility that we must uphold every single day of our lives.
Plus Dr. Gina.
We always came together because we know what we're fighting for.
Rob Schneider and Alex Stein bring the laughs with stand-up comedy. And the music lineup features Natasha Owens, Deepak, Celeste Kellogg, and more. CPAC USA 2026, only on Real America's Voice. Presented by Patriot Mobile, Birch Gold Group, Trump Tumblr, and 1776tumblr.com.
Here's the deal. If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B.
All right, Joe. Thanks very much. Top of the hour, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice.
Doze you down.
Slickster's here. He's going to do some more sports in hour 2. Kevin Downey Jr., the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show. Let me check my schedule for tomorrow, Kev. Let's see. Tomorrow. What time? 9 to 11. I say it all the time. Yeah, so I can be there.
All right, the whole time?
Yeah.
Cool, let's do it.
All right, so we're going to take massive amount of phone calls, right?
Yep.
Kevin Downey Jr.'s show, Kevin Downey, KDJ, Big D, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. And I'll stream it. I'll stream it on the Live from Studio 6B app, live from in the studio.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
All
right. Yeah.
Oh! How am I going to do that? I have no idea, but I'll figure it out before 9 a.m.
I got appointments tomorrow.
So, well, what do you have to do that's more important than
I got to meet with a guy for the website.
I don't want to hear it.
I got a standing breakfast group.
Standing breakfast group.
They love me.
I'll take the French toast over here, please.
I'm the Bloody Mary.
All right, well, that's fine. I'll do it slick for us.
You can handle it.
2 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Speaking of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, let's do some more news with KDJ. What's going on, KDJ?
Well, Big D, you know how when Mom Downey got elected, some people said, well, let New York City learn their lesson, and they'll never vote for the socialists again. Folks, they're never leaving. They're never leaving. This is an exclusive story from the New York Post. Headline, Mom Downey's mass engagement hires will net cushy salaries totaling nearly $2 million to spread the socialist message. What exactly does that mean? Well, they've got a bunch of six-figure jobs, and that's what they're doing. They're pushing socialism in every way they can. At the same time, keep in mind, Mom Downey's out there talking about how great Islam is. Unless you're a woman or a Jew or an American or anyone who's not a Muslim, really. But they've got these people going out there, various gigs. Some of them are called campaign directors. Call them what you want. It says here, let me read this in my broadcaster's voice. The descriptions for the various gigs, including campaign directors, borough directors, and community liaisons, all read like a playbook from the NYC DSA, that's the Democrat Socialist, their ground game that helped elect the young Democratic Socialist to the city's highest office. And what they're going to do is they're paying people, and then they're going to build teams of volunteers, and they're going to go out there, and they're going to tell us just how great democratic socialism really is. So it's not communist with training wheels like we thought, apparently, boys. This is something really good, is what they're trying to say. And they're going to do town halls. They're going to train people to do what? To be democratic socialists. That's what they're training them to do. And they're going to make a lot of money doing it. Keep in mind, they are hemorrhaging money in New York City and have been because, well, they had a bunch of illegal immigrants that they had to support for a couple of years. And now you'll see Mom Donnie's looking to tax everybody. I know he said, well, we're just going to tax the rich and the white people. He's taxing everybody. And keep in mind, there's something. So this, I guess you'd have to know a little about New York City. If you go below, I think, 60th Street, they bang you with a $9 toll on your Easy Pass. They call it the congestion pricing because they say, well, you know, cars are bad for the climate, so we want to keep them out of lower Manhattan. No, it's all about making money. Climate change, of course, is just a ruse to make money and do away with everything that the left wants to do away with. Now, we see we're going to have $2 million a year worth of professional Democratic Socialists telling us how great the Democratic Socialist Party is. And they're not. Like I said, it's communism with training wheels.
All right, very good. Kevin Downey Jr. will have some more news 5 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. My next story I think is important. It's not necessarily dealing with any of the news of the day, but it hasn't gotten a lot of attention on, and I actually bookmarked it about 2 weeks ago to cover, and we just have not had the chance to get to it. But I do think it's important, and it's very well written. It's over in Real Clear Politics by Susan Crabtree. And it has to do with the Secret Service, and of course, the Secret Service main goal is to protect the President of the United States, who right now is Donald Trump. And we know the assassination attempt in Butler, and we know what's happened since then. And obviously, the president the threat level is always egregiously too high. But she wrote this piece, and I don't think it's gotten the attention that it deserves. And I certainly don't see or hear about. And now it doesn't mean it's not happening. Anything happening to try to rectify this situation and who's around our president and protecting him. And it's entitled, Female Secret Service Agent Faulted for J-13 Butler Failures That Nearly Killed Trump Suspended Again. This time, the agent in question, Mayo Perez, is under internal Secret Service investigation for allegedly secretly marrying a foreign national and failing to report it for 9 months. This is the third time Perez has been suspended in a little more than a year. She's on administrative leave and under do not admit status while the investigation continues. Congressional investigations that examined the Butler failures faulted Perez for not placing any Secret Service or local police assets on top of the now notorious sloped roof of the American Glass building where would-be assassin Thomas Crooks fired off his shots, among other security problems at Butler. Yet Congress also questioned why the Secret Service allowed an inexperienced agent to be placed in such a crucial role at an outdoor rally with thousands of people in attendance. The decision to have Perez in a leading security role for the Butler rally is even more concerning, considering that top-level Secret Service officials, including current Secret Service Director Sean Curran, who was serving as the Trump campaign detail leader at the time, had been briefed on an Iranian threat to Trump's life. Despite the ongoing congressional investigations and internal Secret Service review of her role in the Butler failures, Perez quietly married a Brazilian foreign national last April without notifying the agency. According to a copy of her marriage certificate located on the Brevard County Public Records website, and according to sources familiar with the timing of when she informed the agency of her marriage. The investigation is looking into the timing of Perez's marriage to a foreign national, whether the woman was an illegal immigrant at the time of the marriage. Perez had informed the Secret Service of her contact with the Brazilian woman in 2024 before the assassination attempt on Trump's life, but the agency may have either lost the notification or failed to act on it at the time, according to several sources in the Secret Service community. It's unclear, however, whether Perez characterized the contact accurately in 2024 and ever since. Agents are questioning whether she followed mandatory protocol to keep the Secret Service updated on how the relationship was developing and when the two began to live together and subsequently got married. The marriage took place in April of 25, according to the marriage certificate obtained on a public records database. Yet sources in the Secret Service say Perez did not inform the agency until January of 26, 9 months after the marriage took place. The internal Secret Service investigation is examining whether the woman Perez was dating and married last year had overstayed her visa and was facing a deportation order. Multiple sources familiar with the matter. In 2018, news broke that a suspected Russian spy had been working for the Secret Service in the U.S. Embassy in Moscow for at least a decade. Dan Bongino revealed on his podcast that he had tried to report the spy when he was serving in the embassy before he left the Secret Service in 2011, but was dismissed and told to keep his mouth shut. The same Russian woman was suspected of being involved in an affair with the top Secret Service agent working at the embassy who had served as the resident agent in charge, or the RAC, after Bongino left, but several years before her discovery as a spy. The Secret Service and the FBI launched an extensive investigation and suspended the former Secret Service RAC because he couldn't pass his polygraph when questioned about his relationship with the spy, according to sources familiar. At the time, the agent in question was the head of the Inspections Division, which oversees disciplinary actions and investigations against all Secret Service employees. The agency allowed this agent to remain on administrative leave until he retired in 2019, a breach of normal disciplinary protocol to benefit an agent and keep the matter out of the press. And I guess her point of telling that story is that that obviously is not what happened here. And she says former Secret Service agent said the troubling scenario raises questions about whether this girl Perez was harboring an illegal immigrant and trying to obtain her a green card while covering up the effort, and how that all factors into obviously her not being able to do her job. And how is she on the president's detail? So again, I bring this up only because it's obviously quite important, and she's protecting the president of the United States. And we had some other, when you look at Butler and you look at the aftermath of the president after those shots rang out and the action of the Secret Service agents, specifically the female Secret Service agents, looking quite like they didn't know what the hell to do. You have to ask yourself, what is going on at the Secret Service? I know President Trump's likes Sean Kern a lot. That's why he put him in this position. But how does this happen? And why are we, the public, who they're protecting our president, know nothing about this? And what's being done to rectify the situation so we don't have people with 50% focus on what they're doing while they're thinking about their girlfriend, their marriage, their green cards, and everything else? I mean, this is crazy. Susan Crabtree, great job reporting on this. And we'll continue to follow it, see if we get any updates on anything being done about this. So, all right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More to do. Back after this.
woman, right after the Butler assassination attempt, maybe a week later, was not at her post. Trump was 5 minutes out, and she was breastfeeding. Someone brought her baby to where she was stationed.
Yeah, I remember that story. I remember that. Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable. These are people who don't fear getting fired.
Justice Department requested House Intelligence Committee send them classified interview transcripts related to John Brennan, the former CIA director. DOJ is actively pursuing an investigation case against Brennan. I would say probably. As they should. Trump-endorsed North Carolina state Senate seat leader loses his race by 23 votes.
Couldn't get people out to vote?
Is tonight the 24th? This is also tonight.
Tonight. 24th.
North Carolina Senate leader Republican Phil Berger, who touted President Trump's endorsement throughout his campaign, conceded defeat tonight in his primary election in a race he lost by just 23 votes.
Oh,
wow.
That's terrible. Got to get out to vote, man. Your vote matters. Especially in these small elections.
Yep.
23 votes.
Yeah, the Secret Service story is not making the rounds like it should. That's why I wanted to cover it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I wonder why.
Oh, where's the link to this story? I didn't put it in. Where it was from.
You heard that? Yeah.
All right, 17 past the hour, sound like the blues. Let me talk to you about our friends at the Wellness Company. The Trump administration has brought a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. The reality is, however, that there's only so much the government can do, and that if we really want to make America healthy again, it's going to start at home with each and every one of us, and that's, of course, where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company gives you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Kits that contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of all medications. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. It can all help you stay healthy and live a longer and more satisfying life. So Make America Healthy Again will start at home. So do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Go to twc.health/voice today and order. That's twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. twc.health/voice. Use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. Well, most Americans are forced to spend too much money on health care and getting too little in return. If you're one of the millions frustrated by traditional health insurance, I want to tell you about America's Health Share. Go to freedomforhealth.org/RAV, freedomforhealth, all one word, .org/RAV, R-A-V, and discover why tens of thousands of patriots are joining America's Health Share. America's Health Share reduces your health care costs by an average of 60%, and it's accepted everywhere. In other words, say goodbye to out-of-network limitations. They make health care affordable, transparent, and aligned with your values. free from surprise bills or skyrocketing premiums. For as low as $68 a month, an individual can get great health coverage minus the complications and price gouging from healthcare providers. You can completely scrap your current insurance or use America's Health Share to supplement your existing policy, even with Medicare. Simply go to freedomforhealth.org/RAV to learn more. freedomforhealth.org/RAV. Go there right now. New members get their first month absolutely free with promo code RAV, R-A-V. It's time to make America healthy. Join the community of patriots taking back control of their health care. That's freedomforhealth.org/RAV, freedomforhealth.org/RAV. All right, live from Studio 6B, 19 past the hour. Let's do some sports. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS 6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
I said earlier, Big D, we got the Blue Jackets leading the Flyers 3-1. All these games are in the third. Maple Leafs 3-2 over the Bruins. Canadians 3-2 over the Hurricanes. And Senators and Red Wings, the Senators leading that game 3-2. Boy, 3-2 is the hot score tonight. Panthers over the Kraken 3-1. The Blackhawks lead the Islanders 4-2 with 8:59 to go in the third. Anders Lee lit the lamp with 49 seconds into the game, and then the Blackhawks had 4 unanswered. They shut the lights out on the Islanders. Islanders just made a 4-2 on a Simon Holmstrom goal, so look, Islanders looking to mount a big comeback with just inside 9 minutes to go. Avalanche over the Penguins 5-1, and we have the Wild and Lightning in a good one tied at 3. In the second period, Blues over the Capitals 1-0. Predators 5-1 over the Sharks. Devils 4-2 over the Stars. Jets 3-1 over the Golden Knights. Kings 1-0 over the Flames. That's in the first period. Oilers, Mammoth, Ducks, and Canucks coming up a little bit later. Actually, coming up at 10 o'clock, I should say. And, Dan Hurley, he wants to unite with the St. John fans, Big D. He wants UConn and St. John's fans to join forces in the Sweet 16. ESPN News Services. UConn coach Dan Hurley is pleading for his fan base to rally together with the supporters of St. John's for one night and root for each other so there is a chance for a 4th game this season between the Big East schools, this time with a spot in the Final Four at stake. Coach Rick Pitino and the Red Storm will face top-seeded Duke in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament on Friday in Washington. Immediately after, Hurley and the 2-time national champion Huskies will take the same court against Michigan State. If the Big East rivals both win, they'll face each other in the Elite Eight on Sunday with a trip to Indianapolis on the line. What do you think of the chances of that?
No, Elite Eight is next. They'd face each other in the Final Four.
If they win, if the Big East rivals both win, they'll face each other in the Elite Eight on Sunday with a trip to Indianapolis on the line.
I think that's wrong.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
So
Elite Eight is the next game. We just got done with the Sweet 16, right?
Well, Sweet 16.
So UConn's Elite Eight game is against Michigan State.
Sweet 16 is Thursday and Friday, and then the Elite Eight is Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. All right. So I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So Sweet 16 hasn't been played yet.
Sweet 16. No, they're going into the Sweet 16. Big day. And by the way, Florida did lose, and they are out for the season. So that is over with. And, this is a great story, Big D. I know you're going to love this one. A lot to unwrap here. Maryland law would require tampons in men's restrooms at Orioles Park and Ravens Stadium.
I mean, come on.
Come on. Stop it. Stop it. Hold on now. Gentlemen visiting the men's room at Oriole Park at Camden Yards or M&T Bank Stadium, where the Ravens play, could encounter an unfamiliar device. A bill requiring the placement of tampons and tampon dispensers in men's restrooms inside public buildings is currently being debated in the Maryland legislature. The bill is sponsored by Howard County Delegate Terry Hill, Democrat, of course, 2A WBAL 11 reports down in Maryland. The measure has received mixed reactions from Marylanders. I see no reason for it, said Mark Esposito via WBAL 11. Others think the new law could be convenient for them. Sometimes people get embarrassed to ask and tell their partner, hey, I don't have any tampons. I ran out. And you have a loving boyfriend or husband. Wait, there's some in the men's room. I'll go get them, said Ann Arundel, county resident Marla Henderson. One person who has no mixed reaction is Baltimore County Delegate Kathy Ziegler, a Republican. And let's roll that cut one, Aaron. Let's see what she has to say here.
Menstrual hygiene products means appropriately sized tampons. What are appropriately sized tampons? I've never heard of such a thing. What do you consider appropriate?
It just means that tampons are offered. There's no specific size.
Can't keep a straight face.
Well, apparently there's 4 different sizes, so which one would you like them to use?
Just a regular sized tampon in the bathroom.
Okay, maybe it should say that and not appropriately sized tampon. Now, is this going in all bathrooms, men's and women's?
Yes.
How about the Ravens Stadium?
If it is a state-owned building, then yes, it would go in. It's a public building.
Oriole Park?
Well, if it applies to the Raven Stadium, it would also apply to Orioles Park.
I guess Pimlico.
This is ridiculous. I mean, I heard a first and second, third string, but this is ridiculous, Big D. That's rapid sports.
I mean, how does a guy like that...
Keep a straight face!
I don't know how a guy like that's taken... I don't know how he's just not laughed out of the room. I mean, she was still way too nice to this clown. I mean, good for her for asking, trying to, like, make him seem like the absolute lunatic that he is.
Do you think
But, I mean, people like this need to be, I don't know.
Mocked out of existence?
Yeah.
Do you think that there are liberal men on dating sites putting stuff like, and while we're at it, I think there should be tampons all over the joint?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
Well, what's that? The dating site? Plenty of sit sprinklers.
Well, you know, being it's tampons and it's baseball, talk about a waltz in the park. That's a waltz in the park. So that's a rap, Big D.
Golly, this guy.
How
Straight
embarrassing.
face. A straight face.
How does a woman look at a man like that and say, "Come on, honey, I need to take you to bed right now"?
I mean, good gravy.
Man, oh man.
Remove your tampon.
Well, what do you expect, Maryland, right? I mean, come on.
Appropriately
They can't
sized.
even tell you about an illegal alien, right? They thought he was a great father. Yeah, great state, Maryland. What happened to that state?
Ugh.
Sorry, Bill Moore. We love you.
All right, live from Studio 6B. Trevor Comstock's going to join us when we get back. He's the CEO of Sacred Human. You can find him online at sacredhumanhealth.com. He'll tell you about it when we get back right after this.
I did. I figured I'd leave that story alone. I didn't take that one. I took the low-hanging fruit one. Oh my gosh. Islanders coming back. Look at that, Aaron. 4-3. Matt Miller checking in. 4-3. We got 3:22 to go. Look out. Come on now. Matt Miller says 4-3, but my scoreboard says 4-2. So come on, Matt. You drinking that bourbon? What's going on? Probably disallowed a goal. Islanders have put disallowed goals this year. Man, show flew tonight. Oh, man. I know. Very quick. YouTube's.
Martin Bilson on the Live from Studio 6B app. Big D, when is the iPhone app update coming for the app? Aaron, do you want to answer that?
That would be today.
U.S. Marine Corps Loco says Summer's Eve fountains next. Summer's Eve fountains. Summer's Eve is a douche. Yeah. That'll be next thing in the men's room.
Douche.
They're gonna have bidets in the men's room. The Baltimore bidets.
I would say those things wouldn't last the first preseason game. People in Baltimore, Maryland Ravens guy fans those will be toasted. One trip to the bathroom.
If they have a bag.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Slick's doing sports. Kevin Downey Jr. is going to do some more news before we wrap it up on a Tuesday. But right now, please welcome back to the show Trevor Comstock. He's the CEO of Sacred Human. Trevor's been in the health supplement industry for a decade now and has always been passionate about providing all natural supplements to people who care about their health and well-being. Trevor, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you on. Always new audience members who are here who maybe didn't see you last week. So give the audience a little, what was behind you starting a secret of Sacred Human. What was your inspiration? Tell us a little bit about the company.
Yeah, definitely. Well, really, since our inception about 2 years ago, we just wanted to create something that allowed us to provide natural products at an affordable price. So unfortunately, I've said it before, but what we've seen throughout the industry is that a lot of these larger corporations or just companies in general will advertise healthy products. And of course, not all of them are bad, but many, if not most, will just add a ton of things like preservatives, food dyes, artificial additives, and binders, as well as overall ingredients that will do things like cut costs and extend the shelf life for the company, but they can be pretty detrimental on human health. So we, at least at Sacred Human, just wanted, again, to provide you the health products that don't contain all the artificial nonsense, as well as promise to make sure that everything's produced right here in the USA. And then going off that too, before I forget, I wanted to mention that we're running our Tallow Moisturizer sale, which started today. So if you did want to purchase the Tallow Moisturizer, you can use code TALLOW at checkout for 15% off any one-time order. For the Tallow Moisturizer. And of course, for anyone that doesn't know, the moisturizer is made with the 2 ingredients, which is the 100% American grass-fed and finished beef tallow. And then we also pair it with the raw Manuka honey from New Zealand. So that's it. There's no preservatives, food dyes, or any artificial ingredients within it. And what's pretty remarkable about the Tallow Moisturizer is that it's almost identical to the natural oils that your skin produces. So it actually absorbs much more deeply as opposed to just sitting on top of your skin, which unfortunately is the case with a lot of other moisturizers on the market. But aside from that, what's really great about the tallow is that it's loaded with vitamins. So you do get things like vitamin A, D, E, as well as K, which your skin does need to essentially stay healthy and radiant. And I always like to mention too, the product is intended for both men and women. We get asked that question a lot. But again, it's perfect for things like dry skin. If you have eczema or even like any redness or seborrhea, it helps calm that down quite a bit just due to the anti-inflammatory properties. And then of course, it just works great for daily hydration. And also you can use it pretty much anywhere on your body. So of course, a lot of people like to put it on their face, but you can put it, on your neck. A lot of people put it on their feet or their hands as well. Pretty much anywhere on your body that needs support. So in short, if you do want to compare the moisturizer to other moisturizers on the market, the issues with those is that they tend to be filled with things like alcohols, fragrances, and other cheap fillers that can actually damage your skin barrier over time. So it's essentially why we created the product in the first place, just to give you the clean and natural ingredients that actually work to nourish your skin without adding anything synthetic within it. So it's a really great product for sure.
Yeah, let everybody know where they can get it one more time and what that code was that you gave, because it's different than your normal code, I know.
Yeah, correct. So you can go to sacredhumanhealth.com and then use code TALLOW for 15% off The tallow moisturizer also works with the moisturizing and healing bundle, which includes the tallow moisturizer and the sacred healing salve. Again, the sacred healing salve is just amazing for bringing down like joint pain, arthritis support, any bruising or anything like that. It works great in those scenarios as well, but it'll work for the tallow moisturizer and the moisturizing and healing bundle.
Anything else that you, while they're there looking at the moisturizing and healing bundle, and while they're buying that with your code, is there any other product that you would encourage people, or what's hot right now to look at your site?
Yeah, the tallow moisturizer, we are on stock. I think I mentioned last time that we sold out. That's probably our number 2 most popular product, but of course we're known for our grass-fed beef liver, which is our number 1 product. That's just amazing for overall energy and vitality. I always like to just make the analogy, it's like nature's multivitamin, so you get a ton of nutrients within it, and your body, it's a natural supplement, so your body can actually absorb and retain the nutrients as opposed to just flushing it out, which is why most people that take it tend to get that energy boost. But the grass-fed beef liver is our baby. It's our number 1 product. I can't say enough good things about that. You can look through the reviews. I think there's almost 1,000 reviews on it now, or 5-star reviews. So definitely check that one out. But of course, the tallow moisturizer, which is what we're running the sale on, is also a very popular product.
All right, very good, Trevor Comstock, and let everybody know one more time where they can get all this.
Yeah, you can go to sacredhumanhealth.com, and like I said, if you want to purchase the tallow moisturizer or the moisturizing and healing bundle, you can also use code TALLOW for 15% off.
All right, there you go, sacredhumanhealth.com, sacredhumanhealth, all one word.com. Trevor Comstock, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 35 past the hour. Kevin Downey Jr.'s got some news to do. Mr. Downey Jr., how are you?
Thank you, Big D. Man, we've got a lot going on, and I understand that the Soviets way back when have been teaching Americans to hate the country, and if you look at what's going on, they've got those code pink chuckleheads down right now partying with the communists who hate them. And it's always the Democrats. I know how they did it. I know the demoralization process that Yuri Bezmenov was talking about. Look at this, though. New poll comes out. Turns out 49% of Democrats say the U.S. should not be the dominant power in the Western Hemisphere. And that's just where we get started. All right, the West, we absolutely should be the dominant power in the world if we can be, but definitely our own hemisphere. I think Cuba breaks the Monroe Doctrine, always has. It probably should have been gone a long time ago. But check out what's going on, all right? So the Democrats, of course, hate the nation. 49% should not be in charge. 26% say, yeah, we should be dominant in our own hemisphere. Now, with the Republicans, 74% say, yeah, of course we should be. 8% of Republicans say, no, we shouldn't be the dominant part. And some of these comments here, the commie, we just love the commies. Now, a few more insights here. 33% of Americans see the Iran war as justified. 47% say it's not. 58% say Trump should have gotten permission. And 46% strongly disapprove of this handling of the situation. That means Trump has work to do. Right? He's got months, and I do believe he's going to turn it around. But this spells midterm disaster right here. Another one, 54% say the U.S. should use less military force. 45% say military intervention in Iran is only going to make things worse. But 46% want America to take an active role in the direction. We're going to lose here. I mean, I think we're going to win the midterms. I'm thinking we're going to knock them around. I think it's going to be great. All sorts of insanity going on, and it's always from the left. All of this is from the left. 2% of Americans see Iran as an ally. They must be infants. I mean, it's been 47 years since death to America. I don't see how anyone can see that as an ally. 40% of Americans see Israel as an ally, and 20% see them as friendly. All right. Now, I know there's a lot of anti-Israel stuff going on, and I get why people are a little iffy on them, but they are, for now, our allies, whether we like it or not. 55% of people disapprove of overthrowing the communist regime in Cuba. Folks, they had missiles pointed at our parents. What do you think good is going to come from this? Nothing. You can't deal with communists. They're not people. They're subhumans. It's just a vile institution. They have to go, all right? They exist to wipe out Western civilization. That's us. And they've got friends. We've all heard of the red and green alliance, or the green and red alliance. That would be communism, and that would be Islam. The religion of peace is teaming up. And if they win, and they won't, they will eventually eat each other, because the left loves the whole LGBT FBI thing, and Islam is going to kill them. But it's shocking to me. And now, of course, with the poll, it depends on who you're talking to, all that, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. I completely get that. But certain polls I trust more than others. Certain ones I do. And I'm telling you, this right now, this is a bad thing. When 49% of Democrats think we shouldn't be in charge. We should be, or they're going to come in and take us. They're going to take everything. Remember, we're the pretty girl at the prom. Everyone either loves us or hates us. And sadly, right now, a huge chunk of this country hates us. And how do you exist? I don't know that we can exist with these people. I've always said that the reason communism is not going to work here is because we can run to other states. I've said this on my radio show forever. You can't do that in various other nations. Here, things get really bad in New York. We could always move to Ohio or whatever. That's one of the reasons we're going to win. But man, 49% of Democrats, and these are just people that hate us. They want to see it all torn down. These are the malcontents. These are the losers. These are the underachievers. These are the blue-haired Gorgons. This is your, Decepticon-in-law with the blue hair who just hates the nation. But I don't know how you win these people back. Remember, Yuri Bezmenov said once they're demoralized, they're gone. You will never get them back.
Well, of course, the real debate is, I mean, first of all, this is the same crowd that's actively rooting against the president of the United States and the troops right now. So it's the same crowd that you find there. Now, obviously, we can all agree most Americans broadly would rather have peace and prosperity than any kind of war. But the debate over whether we should be the world superpower or even in the regional superpower here, I mean, backing out of that, to the idea that we're not going to be, how they don't equate that into then worse outcomes, that it's inviting worst outcomes is beyond me.
Yeah, if you have the choice, be the superpower, or what's next? Nothing good. Absolutely nothing good comes out of this. It's not like second place. We got plan B. That'll be fun. No, it's not the way it works. And I think some of these people are just demoralized to the point where they'll never grasp it. I mean, we've seen some of the knuckleheads on Facebook. They would rather see.
I mean, who fills that role? Yeah. Just curious. Who fills the role if we're not?
Exactly.
Given geography and everything else that factors into that. Who fills the role?
Canada.
I mean, come on. I mean, stop. I mean, who are these people?
Yeah, have you noticed, though, like with that last tampon thing, these Marxists will not let the cultural Marxism go. They're getting slaughtered everywhere, but they're still pushing it. Folks, communism is not dead yet. It's going, but here's where they fight their hardest, because they know that it's all on the line. And I think Trump is going to save probably much of humanity for the next 50 to 100 years, but by the time he's gone.
Yeah. All right, what else, Kev? We got to give me this quick one on this college professor deal. Okay. What is colonial America offered surprising possibilities to express what? Gender nonconformity?
Queer possibilities.
I mean, what is this about?
So this cloud is saying the revolution was all about queer possibilities and resisting the patriarchy. I would say that if you're a leftist, the founding fathers are probably the worst example of patriarchy that they can come up with. Bunch of rich white guys who are making the rules, and slavery too is a problem. But this is them rewriting history. Now, we've heard a guy, Tellerico, running against... Yeah. He said, Texas, God is non-binary.
Yeah, of course.
Of course he is.
No, we can't beat this guy in Texas, We got to have John Cornyn running against him.
Oh, man.
God is non-binary. The guy's running around the state telling no, Cornyn's the only one who can beat him. Really?
Yankee Doodle Dandy has a whole new meaning now.
Come on.
And no barbecue. He's against barbecue, too, in Texas. Good luck.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We'll wrap it up for a Tuesday right after this.
That might be one of the dumbest stories I've seen all month.
Yeah, that and the tampon story. We took the cake tonight, Big D, huh? Two of the dumbest stories in the news circuit.
They just got to rewrite history, man.
What? Yeah, well, stupid is as stupid does. Come on.
Did you see the knucklehead screaming, she's a lesbian? I've had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
Who said that?
Some crazy woman screaming in a courtroom. I've had plenty of girlfriends with penises. It is a sickness, and reality is just not part of their vocabulary.
No, that's true.
It can't be, because remember, what drives these people is they want to feel morally superior. That is all they care about. Feeling morally superior. You know, I've got like little cameras and okay.
Can't believe this is the last segment.
I know.
It's insane.
Amazing how fast.
Ooh, Nixon, a good one. 109, 107. Pelican. They should be Pelican. 25 and 47. Knicks are 47 and 25. Red Wings lost, Kevin.
Damn it.
3-2. They fighting for a playoff spot, Detroit?
Wild card.
Yeah.
And every game means something now. They were first.
Last segment of the show, 13 till the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Slick's been doing sports. KDJ's been doing some news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Remember, CPAC week is here. Coverage on Real America's Voice all week long. It'll be the place to be. It'll be the booth to be at. If you're going to CPAC, well, you're going to spend most of your time at the Real America's Voice booth because there's no place else to be. We're going to have it all. A lot of your favorite shows, all your favorite personalities. Harry on the Highway will be there. Vinnie Mac will be there. The Rav booth is going to be the place to be. Rob Schneider, comedy. A lot of music from Real America's Music. Some of the great singles that have been put out this year, all being performed there. All your shows. So, I mean, the Real America's Voice booth will be the place to be. CPAC coverage all week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll bet you'll even start seeing some things tomorrow. And
Gaylord Hotel, great place.
At the Gaylord.
Great
Harry's
place.
down there now. Talk to Harry. He's on site. Everything's going up. It's going to be quite the production. So if you're at CPAC, go check them out. Go say, Harry on the Highway, what's going on? All right, we'll get to everybody here before we wrap on a Tuesday night. Slick, I'll start with you. What's left in sports?
All right, couple of finals, Big D. In the NBA, the Hornets 134-90 over the Kings. NHL action, Islanders lose to the Blackhawks. Furious comeback, but they fell short 4-3. The Blue Jackets over the Flyers 3-2. Canadians 5-2 over the Hurricanes. And the Senators down the Red Wings 3-2. All those games have playoff implications as we wind down the regular NHL season. And NBA Players Association called calls for a 65-game rule change, citing Cunningham's case. This is the ESPN News Services. Detroit guard Cade Cunningham's eligibility for individual honors, such as a spot on the All-NBA team, is in some doubt because of the 65-game rule for each of the awards, and the Players Association said Tuesday that shouldn't be the case. The NBA Players Association, which through collective bargaining agreed to that rule as part of the current agreement between the league and its players, and said it, at minimum, wants to see the rule amended. Cade Cunningham's potential ineligibility for postseason awards after a career-defining season is clear in indictment of the 65-game rule, and yet another example of why it must be abolished or reformed to create an exception for significant injuries. Cunningham has appeared in 61 games. Imagine, just fell short this season, and Detroit is trying to hold on for dear life. Knicks right now in a good one, trying to pull that game out as well over the Pelicans. They lead 114-110, and that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. 11 minutes till the hour. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. You can go to mypillow.com or mystore.com. All the great stuff for sale from Mike, and you can use promo code LFS6B at checkout. Kevin Downey Jr. Is doing the news. What's left on your news radar tonight, Kev?
Well, Big D, if there's two things the left loves, it would be illegal immigrants and transmobobs.
Yes.
And an illegal immigrant transmobob raped a 14-year-old boy up in Spanish Harlem last year and is going to walk free. It spent 6 months in jail. I say it because shame on the New York Post. She has already done her time. And this is not a she. This is a Decepticon. 6 months in jail for raping a 14-year-old boy. And this is what we've seen before. Alvin Bragg's favorite move is to say, we're going to let this rapist go because we don't want the victim to have to go to court. All right. He did that in regards to some animal who raped his 15-year-old cousin and gave the rapist 30 days so that the victim wouldn't have to testify. And I understand victims who do not want to testify. I also understand this is how they're letting these animals get away with it. So there's one shot here. This person gets sentenced on April 27th. Will ICE be there? Or will a judge slide this animal out through a back door? Will New York turn this animal over? No, New York will not. We being ICE, will have to have someone there. Because Alvin Bragg, New York City, they hate to turn over illegal immigrants and the transmobobs, but illegal immigrants they're key to that's the linchpin. If we can get all the illegal immigrants, we cannot lose because there's no one here to replace us. There's no one here to vote for the people who are paying them. Everything lynches on the illegal immigrants. They have to go, every one of them. I don't care if they're peaceful and have been here for 20 years. We can't let them vote, and they're voting everywhere.
Well, speaking of that, did you? I saw this article. This guy Bovino, who was on his way out. Did you see this guy? He was the main guy who was out there for Tom Homan.
Yeah.
I guess he's supposedly leaving. Mm-hmm. He was the former Border Patrol chief. And there was some article of him leaving saying basically that he had problems with the administration, that he was on his way out. He was bad-mouthing the administration. I think Trump was asked about it today. Here's what he said, Aaron. Roll this.
How do you ensure they won't have your former Border Patrol chief, Greg Bovino, said his only regret is that he didn't catch more illegal aliens. What's your reaction to that?
Who said that?
That's your former Border Patrol chief. He just retired.
Well, I mean, we captured a lot. You know, they were allowed into the country by Sleepy Joe and that group of incompetent people that were, he was the worst president ever, the group of incompetent people. To me, that's the biggest scar. You know, inflation, they caused the highest inflation we've ever had. We've already gotten rid of it. The biggest scar is what they did, the people that they allowed from prisons all over the world. They came from the Congo, from all over South America. Rough people, really tough people. So, no, I understand what he means. He says, you know, he would have liked to have captured more. I'm not capturing so much as removing. You know, we're removing thousands of people, and many are self-deporting because we're going after them so powerfully that they're self-deporting, Tom. Going back, I think that's one of the big unkept secrets. We have thousands and thousands of people, and they're self-deporting. They're going back to where they came from. But what we want really is the criminals. We're really focused on those criminals, getting them out. Yeah.
What's your message right now to Democrats?
So, well, that's what the president said, but I don't think that person framed the question right from at least the article I saw, because the article I saw is the regret of saying he didn't remove more. He's blaming the administration for taking the gloves off of the original. The way I read it was that he was saying, my regret of not getting more is because I wasn't allowed to just go do my job. And that you guys got soft on the, what was promised as the biggest deportation effort in the history of the country. At least that's what I thought. Because it was like Bovino retires with some harsh words for the administration, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah.
But I think that was the basis of the harsh words. And we have seen some things from the administration that has to concern you. And I don't know, Trump's talking to people saying that, maybe we went too far on some of these things. Well, I mean, that's not what people voted for. Mm-mm. People didn't vote for anything that so far that they've seen, they would think you've gone too far. I don't think anyone thinks that.
Can't go too far.
I mean, going too far would mean all of them are gone and maybe we made some mistakes. That would maybe going too far. Right. Other than that, I don't see how you can go too far. But you've seen some reporting lately that maybe Trump has said, well, maybe we went too far and maybe we're going to come up with a change of strategy. And this Bovino article that I saw today was kind of to that point where my regret is not getting rid of, I think it said he had a plan to remove 100 million, which, I mean, come on, it's crazy. No one's going to have a plan to do that. You couldn't even remove all what Biden let in.
Keep in mind, no one on the left said a word when these illegal gangs were taking over hotels and apartment complexes in Colorado. I want to say Aurora. I might be wrong. And no one cared. One guy even said, well, it's just 2 buildings. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You can't throw enough of these people out, folks. I don't care how kind your gardener is or the lady at the laundromat. They have to go.
You haven't gone far enough. All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Friend, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the Live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night, Wednesday, right here, 8 p.m., Live from Studio 6B.
Football. And I can play catch.
And I can walk.
So what do you say? Will you say yes right now? It's so easy. All you have to do is pick up the phone or go to loveshriners.org right now and say yes. When you say yes to giving just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day. My life is filled with possibility because of the monthly support of people just like you who called the number on your screen and said yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Your yes is making a difference in my life and the lives of so many other kids like me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for giving.
Please call or go online now.